Welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we're putting on our corporate detective hats. We're investigating a massive player in the global infrastructure space, Kalpataru Projects International Limited, or KPIL for short. By looking really closely at the data and the signals they're currently broadcasting into the market, we're going to decode exactly how they're positioning themselves for some explosive railway growth. I am absolutely thrilled to walk you through this breakdown.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered how you can predict a multinational company's next big move well before they ever announce it in a flashy press release? Honestly, the secret almost always lies in their hiring data. Today, we're going to reverse engineer a series of standard-looking job postings from KPIL's railway division to uncover a massive corporate ambition. It is amazing what you can learn when you know exactly what to look for.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, decoding KPIL's latest move. Second, the railway growth strategy. Third, Phase 1, winning bids. Fourth, Phase 2, technical execution. And finally, number 5, why this all matters.
Section 1. Decoding KPIL's latest move. Analyzing the corporate footprint.
To really grasp their strategy, we first need to appreciate the sheer global scale we're dealing with here. KPIL isn't just some local contractor. They're executing mega projects across more than 75 countries. Their portfolio is incredibly diverse, spanning power transmission and distribution, buildings, water supply, oil and gas pipelines, highways, airports, and, critically for our focus today, railways and urban mobility. We're talking massive flyovers and complex metro rail systems. They have a staggering global footprint.
And in all of those sectors, KPIL operates as an EPC company. Just as a quick refresher, EPC stands for Engineering, Procurement, and Construction. In plain English, it means they are the single point of responsibility. They don't just sketch out the design or just procure the steel or just swing the hammers. They do it all, delivering a project from the initial blueprints all the way to handing over the keys. They completely own the life cycle.
Section 2. The railway growth strategy and the Noida RO hiring spree.
Now, what's really interesting about this data is the heavy concentration of absolute seniority they're trying to bring in all at once. KPIL is on a very targeted hiring spree right now for their railway division based out of their Noida regional office. They're seeking a senior manager for business development, 2 estimation managers for electrical and civil tendering, and a senior manager for electrical design. And notice the experience required here. Every single one of these roles demands between 8 to 15 years in the field. They aren't looking for entry-level help. They are importing decades of highly specialized industry knowledge. If we take those 4 specific roles and map them out chronologically, they actually form the exact life cycle of a major infrastructure project. Step 1 is handled by business development, crafting that initial bid strategy. Step 2 is the tendering managers meticulously estimating every single cost. And Step 3 relies on the design and engineering leader for the actual technical execution. KPIL is systematically hiring a complete end-to-end strike team.
Section 3. Phase 1, winning bids and the hunt for mega contracts.
The tip of the spear in this hunt is the Senior Manager of Business Development. KPIL is demanding a candidate with a civil engineering degree, ideally an MBA, and 10 to 15 years of hard experience. This person's sole mission is to lead complete business development and manage end-to-end tendering for railway and metro projects. They're the masterminds developing the aggressive bid strategies needed to beat out international competitors.
A massive part of actually winning those bids involves decoding something called a BOQ, or Bill of Quantities. Think of this as the ultimate master list. It details the exact quantities of every single material, part, and hour of labor needed for a project. This business development leader, working right alongside the tendering team, has to expertly review these BOQs and highly complex engineering drawings to perfectly estimate costs. The stakes are crazy high. If they underestimate the BOQ, the company hemorrhages money, but if they overestimate it, they lose the bid entirely.
And this brilliantly illustrates how KPIL protects itself during that high-wire estimating process. They aren't just hiring one general estimator to look over everything. No, they're hiring dual-track expertise. We have a tendering manager entirely focused on the electrical side of railway projects and another entirely focused on the civil infrastructure side. By splitting these disciplines, they ensure that both the concrete foundations and the complex electrical grids are priced with absolute laser precision. It's basically like having a master architect and a master electrician double-checking your homework.
But hey, just making sure the math works out isn't enough.
Look at the preferred skills for these roles. KPIL wants experts in supply chain management, risk analysis, cash flow planning, and even tax calculations. They need professionals who can write bulletproof techno-commercial proposals. This really emphasizes that these aren't just your standard engineering roles. They require deep, sophisticated commercial acumen to navigate the insane financial and logistical complexities of international rail bids.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds. Phase 2, technical execution and designing the power grid.
Once that bid is successfully won, the responsibility completely shifts to the senior manager of design and engineering. The core mandate for this role is spelled out in black and white. Lead complete electrical design activities for metro rail projects. The absolute, unquestionable focus here is on urban mobility and metro systems, which, let's be real, are some of the most complex infrastructure projects in the world to engineer safely.
To truly understand the gravity of this engineering gig, we've got to de-jargonize two critical pieces of infrastructure, ASS and TSS. ASS stands for Auxiliary Substation, and TSS stands for Traction Substation. These are the massive, extremely high-voltage power centers that literally keep the trains moving and the stations illuminated. Designing the traction power supply systems for an entire metro network requires a jaw-dropping level of precision and safety protocol. The responsibilities laid out for this design engineer are just staggering. They are tasked with designing the equipment layouts, the protection and control schemes, the earthing systems, the bonding systems, and planning the incredibly intricate cable routing. Every single one of these elements must perfectly comply with strict engineering standards. Think about it. If even one protection scheme or earthing system fails in a packed metro rail network, the results could be catastrophic. That is exactly why KPIL is demanding such highly experienced, top-tier talent.
Section 5. Why this matters, looking at the big picture.
I want you to focus on this number for a moment. 5. Out of all the requirements we've looked at today, this one is probably the most telling. KPIL has made it a mandatory, absolute must-have requirement that their new electrical design leader has a minimum of 5 years of experience specifically in ASS and TSS design management for metro projects. Not just general electrical engineering, 5 years specifically designing traction substations.
So, the crucial point we need to take away is this. KPIL's current hiring spree is not about routine backfilling or replacing a few folks who left. By demanding 8 to 15 years of experience across business development, electrical tendering, civil estimation, and highly specialized substation design, KPIL is purposely building a senior-level strike team. They are assembling a specialized unit perfectly capable of dominating the complete, end-to-end life cycle of the most complex urban mobility projects on the market.
They already have the global footprint, they have the proven EPC capability, and right now they are aggressively gathering the specialized senior talent required to price out and power massive metro networks. Which really leaves us with one incredibly exciting question to ponder. With a strike team like this ready for deployment, what massive, world-class mega project is KPIL preparing to win next? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.